be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. Hi everyone, welcome to Pokemon today. So today's a little bit different. I made my husband laugh, this is great. So today's a little bit different. We were going to do a more in-depth analysis into more components of the Pokemon trading card game, but we will be very honest, life has gotten in the way. And so we are sitting here Thursday night before Pokemon is supposed to be edited and uploaded for Saturday, for our Saturday program, and we said to each other, what should we do? Well, I've been watching a lot of this one YouTube channel lately called the Super Carlin Brothers, and they do a lot of like top 10 videos, like top 10 Marvel characters, top 10 Harry Potter characters, and I'm like, why don't we do a top 10 Pokemon characters? Like, what are our favorite Pokemon from the first generation? Because if you didn't know, we're old. I know up to 4th gen, but he does not. You aged out of it at 1st gen, right?
First gen, I know a few out of 2 and 3, and that's the extent of
Only
mine.
because we've been playing Pokemon Go since quarantine.
Pokemon Go. And
Yeah.
we watched some of the
And we've watched some of the anime,
quarantine.
also because of quarantine. Starting out, number 10. My 10th favorite, yes, that works, is Zubat. Which this one, see, I guess one thing that we should say, we're coming from very different places with what Pokemon that we like. I primarily played the trading card game and watched the television show. Or Mr. John primarily played the Nintendo game. And so he knows it from a different perspective than I do.
I know it more from the game's point of view than from the surrounding media.
He's a huge gamer too, so he's seeing it through a gamer's lens versus
Walking
me.
through the caves, and every 5 steps you have a Zubat that shows up and you have to fight it. And then you're done with it. And then you take another 5 steps and there's another one. And you're not even halfway through the cave yet. Do I have to go back to heal up? Do I have to push forward? So annoying. Well, my 10th favorite one is actually Scyther. I really liked him from the games. He was one of the ones that I caught later on into the game, but I just thought he was really cool.
Going into top 9 is actually a Rapidash, because I remember one of the first episodes that I ever watched had a Rapidash in it. I think it was called The Great Race. The episode was all about these different Pokemon that were all racing.
Number 9 for me is Hitmonlee. In the games, you never, if you only bought one of the games, which I only ever played the red version, you got to a part in the game where you beat the karate guy, and then he gave you a choice of one or the other. So this is the one that I liked. So I never actually played with the punching one, because once I found out how much I liked this guy, I just stuck with it. So I like this one.
When you say karate guy, you mean Gym Leader Koga, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Karate guy. And this is another thing I should mention, is that since I played the games, I have just shorthanded a lot of things in my brain to things that aren't actually correct, and also a lot of the names of the Pokemon, I have made up my own pronunciations for it that she has to then correct.
Number 8 for me is actually Ninetales. I didn't really have a reason for why I like Ninetales beyond the fact I just thought that she was pretty. And actually one of my really good friends growing up, the one that I danced with, Ninetales was actually her favorite as well.
Number 8 for me is Chansey. That was one of the ones that you get to the Safari Zone, and I remember that I really liked it ever since I saw them in the first Poke Center, and I really wanted one, and it was really hard to get. So that has stuck in my mind that I actually think it took me 3 or 4 evenings of trying to catch one of these things in the Safari Zone. So I finally got myself a Chansey.
Okay, so number 7 for me is one of the Evolutions. It is actually not my favorite Evolution, but we are doing 1st gen. My favorite Evolution is actually Espeon, but my favorite 1st gen Evolution is Vaporeon, which is actually funny that I like the water one, considering I prefer fire Pokemon.
And
I don't like water. I don't like water that much. Yeah.
Mine was also a water Pokemon.
No way!
Number 7.
No way!
Mine was Gyarados. This was which, by the way, is one of the ones that she has corrected my pronunciation.
Yes, it's Gyarados.
So I had a friend who played the other. So the first games came out with 2 versions, like most of them do. So it was red and blue. I had a red one. My friend had the blue one, and I had didn't even realize Magikarp had an evolution because I just wrote it off as being a useless Pokemon because it only learned Splash.
Useless Pokemon.
That was the end of it. As soon as I saw its moveset, I said, forget it, I'm never playing with this thing. Until my friend and I were having a friendly battle one day, and then he suddenly pulls out a Gyarados that completely rips my entire team to shreds, and I learned a valuable lesson that day about
Well, I remember going off with you. My big thing was Pokemon Snap. That was the big thing that I played. I loved it. I thought it was really fun. But with Gyarados, it was fun in Pokemon Snap to play because you took the Pester Balls to Magikarp. So you'd go, one of the levels was a river, and you'd go down the river, and you would take the Pester Balls and basically hit Magikarp with them. But you had to keep hitting him down.
Pokemon teaches good lessons.
Such good lessons. But you had to keep hitting him down the river until he eventually got into a waterfall. And then once he got into the waterfall, Gyarados would come out. And it was so, so cool. So, I just discussed an evolution. Well, now, my top 6 is Eevee. I like Eevee because it's cute. That is all.
That's short and sweet. Mine is basically the opposite of that. Number 6 for me is Onyx.
Ooh.
I really liked the idea
That's
of
a
a
good one.
giant 30-foot rock monster. That was just kind of cool.
So my top 5, pretty simple, Lapras. And for a very simple reason, when I believe it was the first few seasons, and then also into the Orange Islands, Ash had a Lapras, and whenever they had to do ocean travel, they would often ride on the back of Lapras.
Number 5 is Gengar.
Gengar!
Ghost Pokemon. Now
I love how you have props and I don't.
This is another one of the gaming stories. It was actually a Pokemon that in the original series, or the original games, you could not catch a Gengar no matter what you did. My friend and I were getting frustrated that we couldn't figure out how to do it. For those of you who don't know, at the time I didn't really have access to the internet, so I couldn't just look it up.
He did not.
So what it was one day my friend and I, he's like, well, I couldn't find a Gengar for you. So apparently he spent like all day looking all over the place for the Gengar. And then
I just realized what story you're telling.
So he found a Haunter instead. So I can't find you a Gengar. Look, I did what I could. Here, I'm going to give you this Haunter instead. So then he trades me the Haunter, and that's when we found out that in the original game, when you trade it, it actually evolves in the trade. We were very frustrated, but it was also kind of cool.
My top 4 is Charizard. I just like Charizard for a very simple reason. I like dragons, if you didn't know. I like fire Pokemon, and I always thought it was really cool.
Mine's also a fire Pokemon.
Oh, fascinating.
So mine is Flareon. The reason, well, I actually have Flareon / Eevee. I kind of cheated a little bit. Actually, like Miss Emily, my favorite Eevee evolution actually came out after Gen 1.
Second gen, right?
I liked Umbreon.
That second gen.
I liked Espeon, and I liked Sylveon. So I actually like the latest ones.
Yeah, the later ones I think are a lot more interesting than the first ones.
Yeah, anyways, the reason I actually like Flareon, and you are going to get sick of me saying this, as some of the kids are already sick of me saying this, I really like my Flareon deck. It's just a really fun deck. I like it. Because of that, I've just grown to like Flareon more than I used to.
I get that. So, number 3 for me is Machoke. I have no reason for liking Machoke.
Machoke, the second evolution. Not the third one with multiple arms, the second one.
For some reason, the second one. I have no reason.
So this one is probably going to surprise anybody who really understands the first gen game. Bug Pokemon were awful. My first Pokemon I caught that wasn't my starter was a Caterpie. I actually evolved it up to a Butterfree, and then I actually used Butterfree for the rest of the game. It never left my thing. So to me, Butterfree is one of my favorite Pokemon. I love Butterfree. I found out later that made the game a lot more difficult than it really needed to be, but it stuck with me.
2. This one, if you have ever come to Pokemon, you've probably heard me say this jokingly, but I also mean it. Right back here, we have Psyduck, but I jokingly call this my spirit Pokemon. Why do I call it my spirit Pokemon? Because Psyduck and I both get migraines. If you've ever watched the original show, Misty is really, really mean to Psyduck. And it's awful because she obviously does not deal with migraines, because if you dealt with migraines, you would not be treating your Psyduck that way.
She had that whole thing about really cute Pokemon. Psyduck is a cute Pokemon.
Psyduck is just tiny and chubby.
My number 2 is Venusaur. That is my number 2 Pokemon. It is the evolution of Bulbasaur. Actually, it goes Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur. It was the one that I used the most in the game.
That's true.
So Venusaur and Butterfree were a team. They stuck together with me throughout the entire game. You know,
My top 1's a little bit of a cop-out. Kind of.
you just cheated. It's okay.
No, I didn't cheat necessarily because I felt like I wasn't being honest if I said this. So when I was a kid, I kind of chose my favorite because it was a cat. And if you know anything about me, I love cats. I love them. I have owned 6 of them.
Except Lulu when she's bothering you during filming.
Okay, Lulu bothering me during filming is a very frustrating thing. I chose Persian as my favorite Pokemon because it was a kitty, it was pretty. In my head, I would imagine me being in the Pokemon world, and I named my Persian Ruby because it had a ruby on its head. So original, right? Right.
I actually did not like Persian specifically because the villain in the game had
Giovanni.
Persian, and I did not like Persians because of
Yep.
that. Plus, I wasn't a big fan of cats.
Until we adopted Lulu.
That is true. Lulu is breaking me up.
Dragonair has definitely become my favorite because, as I said before, I love dragons, and I just think it's gorgeous and it makes me happy. Although, I do find it amusing that my favorite Pokemon is also one that can cause rain. Because if you know anything about me, I don't particularly love the rain.
She knows if it's raining before she even gets out of bed.
That's true.
Before the curtains are moved, before anything. She will just wake up, have no energy, and be like, it's raining outside. And I'm like, how do you even know? It's dark in the room. We have blackout curtains. How do you know if it's raining? So my number 1 is Bulbasaur. I mean, I don't think anyone's shocking. You know that the Pokemon just say their name, so they say Bulbasaur, Bulbasaur, Scyther, etc., Flareon, whatever. They just say it. Pikachu. In the game, though, I just shortened the name to Bulba. So in every game, I always picked Bulba as my original starter. So I always would just short it to Bulba. And so that's why whenever I'm mimicking it, I always just say Bulba. I never say Soar because to me, that's not part of it. Because its name is Bulba. That's my Bulba.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We really do appreciate it. Like I said, it's not quite what we had anticipated doing, but life kind of got in the way. We do want to mention we were going to potentially do an advanced deck building video at some point, but I didn't really get a gauge on whether or not there was a lot of interest in it. So if there actually was interest in it, please tell us in the comments.